And I would love to use the opportunity for you to also introduce yourself to me this evening. I would love to use the opportunity for you to also do what introduce yourself to me this evening. So, with kind respect, kindly mention your name and where you are joining from. So, for instance, I am Brother Emmanuel. So, joining from Accra, Ghana. Okay, Accra, Ghana. All right. So you also mention your name. If you are joining from India, you mention your name, then you tell us the country, location where you are also joining from. So, quick, let me know your name and where you are also joining from fast. All right. So let me know your name and then where you're also joining from. Right. So I'm getting back into the chat box to know your name, how you also want to introduce yourself to me for so that I can give you a VIP welcome. All right. So I have Vincent from Ghana. I also have Israel Tete from Ghana. All right. So I also want to know your name. I have Anna from Sweden. Anna from Sweden. And then Prince from Italy. Prince from Italy. All right. So you are all welcome to this evening session. So I have Anna from Sweden, Prince from Italy, Israel from Ghana, and then also Vincent from Ghana. All right. Zillion from Nigeria. Zillion from Nigeria, Mercy from Ghana. Wow, so interesting. This evening, I'm very glad to see most of the Ghanaians being present on this session, right? So, Abuja from Nigeria, that is FS Queen. FS Queen from Abuja, Nigeria. Godson from Nigeria. Wow, the Nigerians and the Ghanaians are competing. Oh, interesting. Wow, that's awesome. So I have there is Angel from Germany. There is Angel from Germany, all the way from Germany. All right, so you're welcome to this evening session. That is our Q&A session. All right. So I'm very glad to have you here this evening. We also have Dayo from Nigeria. Dayo from Nigeria. That is Dayo your name or please clarify so that I can be able to give. All right. So we have Afonso from USA. Afonso from USA. We have Byron from Kenya. Byron from Kenya. All right. Byron has been one of our consistent leaders who has always been present on this Zoom, and I'm very excited to have you here this evening. All right. So we also have yes. So okay. That is good. So we have Dayo from Nigeria, and then Byron from Kenya, Afonso from USA, and then yes. So let me know your name and where you're also joining from. So we have Busia. Or what's the name? That is Busa from where? From Rwanda. Okay, Busa from Rwanda. There's a king from Kumasi. Which kind of king is that? So King Osei from Kumasi. All right, so you are welcome to this evening session. Okay, so let me also know your name. All right, so your name and where you're also joining from. Okay. So I have greetings from Nigeria. That is good evening, leaders from everyone. That is Kate. All right, so let's start. Let's start. Okay, so now I welcome you all to this evening session, and that is our Q&A session, right? That is our Q&A session. Okay, so what we are going to do this evening, as always been doing, we give an opportunity for every trader or individual to ask questions. Either you raise your hand or you write your question in the chat box. Either you raise your hand or you write your question in the chat box. So whatever mode that you want to use to ask your question, by either raising your hand or writing your question in the chat box, we will be able to do what assist you in answering the question. So either you want to talk or you want to write your question in the chat box, we'll be able to assist you to do what to answer your question. All right, so let's start. Let's start. So my screen is shared and I'm waiting for your question. You can either raise your hand or um write your question in the chat box. Okay, so you can either raise your hand or you write your question in the chat box. So we are about 25 people here. All right, there are 25 people here. So I want to see you raise your hand or you type your question in the chat box. So whatever that bothers your thoughts about trading crypto, Royal Kio, anyhow, whatever that you think or you wish to know, we will take time to explain things to you better for you to do it, for you to understand. Right. Okay, so now let's see. I believe you've started trading, or if you've not so, I believe today you've traded and you've made enough profits. which should be our priority. If not so, I believe that you've been able to understand most of the concept that you need to know, and I want to engage you in this evening dialogue or this evening session. You feel free to ask all your questions so that I can be able to assist you in giving with other leaders here. We'll be able to assist you to give better answers to your questions. Okay, so you can do that. I'm waiting for your first question. All right, I'm waiting for your first question. Okay, so as I keep waiting for your question, um, so far yesterday, those who joined the afternoon session, was it afternoon or yeah, those who joined the afternoon session, we talk about advanced crypto trading, and we endorse a lot of things. We discuss a lot of things. They're both on the spot market and then also on the futures market. And this is that thing that we are anticipating that every trader will do. What every trader will do, you learn, and then you understand the sessions so that you can be able to make an informed decision for yourself, right? Trading is all about the knowledge. Once you acquire the skills, the knowledge that is necessary for you to hold on to your skills, you'll be able to develop and then continue to make consistent results as you deserve or you want to make. All right. So please, you have that opportunity to ask your question. Okay. So let me get back into the chat box to see if okay. All right. That's good. So I have three questions here. Let me see. I have three questions here. The first, so from Mercy Amankwa Sechi. From Mercy Amankwa Sechi is asking that about leverage. It is true that the type of leverage used also determine how fast you get into profit. Is it true that the type of leverage that you used also determine how fast you get into profit? All right, so I'm going to take time to answer all the questions, right? Without rushing. Okay, so I'm going to take time to answer all the questions. So the question is it true that the type of leverage you choose determine how fast you make your profit? And the answer is yes. Okay, the answer is what is yes. Now, why yes? Now, when it comes to the use of leverage, like I've explained in some of our previous sessions, leverage amplify leverage amplifies your gains. Okay, so if you use, let's say, 20x and someone is using 1x, you'll be able to lock up in gains at a very fast rate as compared to the person using 1x. So it is true. It is true. So take notice of that, that it is what it is true that the leverage you choose will determine how fast you make your profit. And likewise, the leverage you choose also gives the opposite result of your profit if it is loss. Do you get it? Very good. So if you want to select a leverage, that does not mean that you should always go for a higher leverage. That does not mean that you should always go for a higher leverage. Maybe someone to ask such a question, so I'll get back to answer. But then I believe I've been able to answer your question. I believe I've been able to answer your question. So let me take the next question. Now, good evening, leader. So please, can you explain how to isolate a coin in Binance future trade? So can you explain how to isolate a coin in Binance future trade? So that is your question. Okay, so now how do you isolate a coin in Binance futures trading? Okay, that is his question. How do one isolate coins in Binance futures trading? So let's quickly go and then check it out to see how is it possible. Okay, so let's go into Binance. Let's go. I believe my screen is visible. I believe my screen is visible. So how do you isolate coins? Okay, so first let's go to Binance. Okay, now you have this. So this is futures. On Binance, you have your futures. Let's click on futures. So first, the first thing that you have to do is to click on futures. Now, after clicking on futures, okay, after clicking on futures, you come here, come to the top here. What's that? Right Now you see, what do you see there? Cross, sorry, isolated. What do you see there? You see isolated, right? So since it's isolated, if you want to change coins, if you want to switch all your coins isolated, very simple. The first thing that you have to do is this: you tap on the asset, right? The first thing that you have to do is to tap on the asset. Then after switching the assets, that is based on the pairs. So let's do that. Good. So let's do that. So now you click on this, is the name of the of the asset, right? So quickly you click on it. Okay. So let's click on that to change the asset. Good. So let's assume you want to use BAT USDT. Now after doing that, you can see that automatically BAT is on what? It's on cross, right? It's on what? It's on cross. So you just switch it off to what? Isolated. 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 So after doing that, you click on isolated. Very good. Now, this simply means anytime you want to trade, anytime you want to trade, you see your trade in what? In isolation. So the next thing is, if you want to change another coin, you click on compound. So that's the name of the asset. After clicking on it, it's on cross. So now turn it from cross to isolated. So isolated. Do you get it? So automatically it appears on not an isolation. And since it's an isolated, anytime you want to trade, your coin appears on isolated. That is all. So even if, unless you decide to get back here and then switch it off to cross before it will turn it off to what, it will turn to cross. If not, it's always on isolation. That's all. All right. So I believe that question is well answered. I believe that question is well answered. Wisdom. So Godson, rather. Godson Oyeso. Okay. So please, brother Ima, please be sincere with me. What is the best capital I need in Royal Kio trading for me to be getting from 10 USDT or above with futures? Okay, so at least a minimum of $50 or $100. That is me. A minimum of $50 or $100 would be able to help you to get at least $10. Getting at least two trades a day will be able to help you make more than $10 or $10. Let's assume so. So $50 to $100, that is minimum of $50 to $100 would help you to be making such range. And sometimes it also depends when you get a good signal as well, it will also help. Right. Okay. So I believe Israel Tete, your question is answered. All right. So, oh, screen not moving when you were treating the question. Why? So, all right, let's proceed. Maybe you have to ask that question again. Good evening, bro. Please, my question is that last 2 week I traded and has a I had a shortage of $40 and I paused it, but it keep increasing the shortage. Please, is there anything wrong? I'm not getting your question. The question is not clear, right? So please kindly get back again. So good evening. Last 2 week I traded and I had a shortage of $40. Like, you mean you short the trade? If I'm getting you clear, you short the trade with $40 and you pause the trade. If not, please kindly come clear again. Come clear again. Okay, so on futures trading, so Zillion M is asking on futures trading. I understand how to do the margin call settings, but what I understand is assuming I have 100 USDT, my leverage is 10x, and my FBA is 40% of my 100 USDT, which is $40. My balance is 60 USDT. I will share into three margin calls, which is 20 USDT. Am I correct? I don't understand the FBA entry. All right, so let's go to see how you can make an entry of the FBA. Now, mind you, you said it is 60%. Okay, 60% of your entry. So that is $100, 40% of $100, 40%, that is $40. And your leverage is 10x. 10x. which is going to be 40 times 10, which is going to be 400. 40 times 10 is going to be 400. So when you get into your exchange, so let's go to Royal Kio. Let's go into Royal Kio. So, okay. Now let's look at it. So over here, let's get an asset. So let's assume this is an asset that we want to trade. Click on OK. Now, look at this particular setup. When you come here, you are going to see this. Let me clear. So you are seeing this. That is 853,000 PP. Okay, 853,000 what PP. Now, which is equivalent to 5 USDT. So which simply means that 800, and please mute your call. Mute your call. Don't distract us. 850, is it 53? 853. Very good. 53 divided by 5 times 40 times 10, which is 68,240. 68,240. So when you come here, it's going to be 68,240. That is going to be 400, right? So you automatically have your 400 here. You have your, so the FBA is going to be 400. So since you have your strategy and you know it's 40% of your capital, which is of your $100, which is $40, you just multiply by 10, which is your leverage. And then when you get back here, you divide based on what is here, the equivalent, which is equal to the USDT amount. That's all. So I believe it's clear. Is it clear? Wow. Hey, my screen is
Leader
not
Emmanuel, your
visible.
screen is stagnant at the same place. It's not moving.
Oh, 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 oh. So let me stop sharing and reshare again. Uh, is my screen visible now? Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
All right. So the person asking the question about the calculate the first buying amount. Let me go back. Let me go back and then explain it again. So let's choose an asset. So what I'm saying is simple. So let's assume that you said you have 40%, your you are using 40% of your capital, okay, which is $100. That is going to give you $40. Okay, $40. Now you are talking about the FBA, and what you are saying is, since you know, please mute your call. The person talking on the phone in the call. So what you are going to do is that now you check the name of the assets. You click on create, you click on understand, you click on trade settings, then you click on manually create. When you get back here, you are going to see this here. They said 250,000 sats is equivalent to 5 USDT. Meanwhile, you said you want to use $40 with a leverage of 10x. Okay, $40 with a leverage of what? A leverage of 10x. I believe you are following. 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 Okay, so let's proceed. So over here, when you get back here, they said 250,000 sats is equivalent to 5 USDT. So just take your calculator. Good. 250,000 sats divided by 5 USD. Where from the 5? The 5, that is 250,000 sats is equivalent to 5 USDT. So if I want to get the remaining value, that is times 10, which is where from the 10. The 10 is my leverage. Then times the capital that I want to use, which is 40 times 40, which is going to give me 20 million. 20 million. So let's go back here. We come here, we enter the value 20 million, right? So let me see. Very good. That is going to give you 400 what USDT. So why 400? Because of the leverage, which is the 10x that you are using. Do you get it? Because of the leverage that you are using, which is the 10x. Since you are using a leverage of 10x, here is it. Since you are using a leverage of 10x, so 10x. Since you are using a leverage of 10x, automatically that is going to be 400. That is 40 times 10. So please, I believe you get the calculation clear now. I believe you get the calculation clear with your first buying amount. I believe you get it clear now. I believe you get it clear now. Okay, so let me look at the next question. Um, okay, so I hope now My screen is visible and everyone can see. Okay. All right. So, oh, sorry for that. Sorry. All right. So the screen is not moving. Okay. So now let me see the questions. Okay. So still on the futures, how do you deal with the margin calls? How do you deal with the margin calls? How do you deal with the margin calls? Still on the futures, how do you deal with the margin calls? So repeat the calculations. Oh my God. My God. Okay, so repeat the calculations. Now, let's see. What we are saying is this. With the first buying amount, so with the first buying amount, okay, now let's assume you have this asset, 1,000 Shiba Inu, right? Okay, so you click on create, understand trade settings. Now, first, let's do with the first buying amount. You said you have 40 $100. You are using 40% of $100, right? Which is $40. And your leverage is also 10x. This is your leverage, which is 10x, which simply means that it's going to be um your first buying amount. If you want to get your first buying amount, 602 divided by 55, which is the 5 USD, it simply means that 602,000 shape is equivalent to 5 USDT. So if I want to get more of my first buying amount, it's going to be 602 divided by 5 times my leverage times the capital, which is 40, right? So quickly you use your calculator. So 602 divided by 5 times 10 times my leverage, which is 40, which is going to give you 48,160, right? 48,160. So let's go. 48, you come here, you enter the value 48,000. So 48,000, hey, 160, which is equivalent to what? 400 USDT, which is equivalent to 400 what? USDT, which is equivalent to what? 400 what? USDT. Right, you get it right. So now the next thing is you are talking about your margin. How do you deal with the margin calls? Now, I've always been saying, even though this is not a trade settings class, and trade settings class is being handled on Monday, and we also have more lessons on that. So let's assume you want to open 5 margin calls, 5 calls, right? So the next thing that you have to do, you come to your margin configuration. You decide on the capital, the remaining capital that you have. Now, there are different strategies of dealing with the margin configuration. So we have the multiple buying ratio and then also the margin call drop. Now, the call drop is a different thing, and then also the multiple buying ratio is what is a different thing. So we have I've talked about the triple effect, right, and then a double effect as well. So if it happens that you are using the triple effect, you know that okay, at every point in time you want to triple the next result or you want to double the next result. So for instance, if you look at this place, it's doubling. So for instance, over here they said the first amount is what is 2, from 2 4 8 16 32. It simply means they keep doubling, right, the effect of the next result. So if you want to buy 2 of your first buying amount, this time around they said you want to buy 4 of your first buying amount, the next time you want to buy 8 of your first buying amount, the next time you want to buy 16 of your first. Over here it's going to help. But if you don't have capital, you cannot assume to use this strategy. Notwithstanding, you can break it down into simpler form for you to do it, for you to use it. So this is the double effect. That is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Right? Do you get it? So in this case, all what they are saying is that the two, what where from the two? That is 2 times of your first buying amount. That is what they are trying to mean. 4 times of your first buying amount. So you take your time to do the same calculation just as you did for your first buying amount for you to get the value here. So 2 times of it will reflect on your actual what? On your actual capital. That is all. So the most important thing for you to get these values correctly, right? Which is going to match the remaining capital that you do have. All right. So I believe it's clear. Let me see if there is any other question. Let me see if there is any other question. Let me see if there is any other question. So Zillion M, have I been able to do justice to that? Have I been able to do justice to that? All right. So please, if there is any question, you can also drop it in the chat box. Let me see if there is any hands raised. So you can also raise your hand if you have any question to ask. You can also feel free to raise your hand. We will unmute you for you to ask your question. So drop your questions in the chat box. Drop your questions in the chat box. Okay, Coach Mo. So drop your questions in the chat box. Right. All right. So please, let's go. I'm still waiting for your question. So the margin configuration in the futures and the spots is the same. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. So always the idea of the margin cost still remain the same and the function still remain the same, right? Good. So coach, can you repeat the parts on the isolated again, because last time your screen wasn't moving. All right. So let's go back. So over here we have this, right? We have this here. Now, this is it. Just tap on this. When you tap, you can change the assets. Okay. So you click on these dots. When you click on these dots, we have the cross and then isolated. So just tap on the cross. If you want to switch it off to isolated, you do that. If you want to switch it off to listen to, you do that. So anytime, just tap here, click on the name of the asset, then change it from cross to what isolated. That is all. Hope it's clear. So just tap here. When you tap, search for the name of the asset. If it is BTC, you tap on the name of the asset BTC, right? After tapping the name of the asset, you are good to go. So you click it from cross to what's isolated, right? That's all, right? Hope it's clear. Okay, so now I believe we can proceed. So let me see if there is any other question. Okay, does the liquidation price changes when a margin is bought or it's constant immediately you enter a trade? Does the liquidation price changes when a margin is bought? Yes, sometimes it changes, sometimes it remain constant. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it remain constant. So it's not always fixed. There are certain instances where it changes, and then sometimes it remain constant. So that is it. All right. Let me see if there is any other question. Let me know if there is any other question. If your hand is up, let me know. Okay, so there is no hand up. All right. So you can drop your question in the chat box, right? You can drop your question in the chat box for us to do justice to that. You can drop your question in the chat box. Okay. All right. So I'm waiting for your question. You can drop your question in the chat box. All right. So let's proceed. Okay. So now, how can I know my entry price in futures? How can I know my entry price in futures? Okay, and then I am just coming in. Is there any possibility to recap what have been said previously? Possible. I will have some questions to ask. No, this is not a lesson. This is Q&A session. So if you have any question, you yourself you can ask, right? Yes, if you have any question, you can ask. This is not a lesson, but rather Q&A session. Okay, so now let me take the next question. Let me take the next question. So, okay, so how can I know my entry price in futures? Now, there are two ways. If you want to know your entry price, first, I assume that you've analyzed the signals or you are analyzing the signals yourself. Okay, if not, current price can also be your entry price. It depend on the signal. If it's having that signal is being given, for instance, when you come here, let's check on the signal platform. So, uh, so let me see. Okay, let me search for it. Okay, so for instance, let me see if there is any signal given. Very good. Now you can see that they said over here, they said entry. They said entry, and with the entry, that is the current price. Do you get it? So the entry may come in two forms. Either it's a preset value or a current price. So if it is a current price, whenever you enter, the exact price at which you enter the asset becomes your entry what your entry price. So this time around, if I want to, for instance, if I have this trade and I want to consider my entry price, let's see, I want to consider my entry price on this particular asset as an example. So the current price at which I bought the asset becomes my entry price. Okay, this is my entry price. So the price at which I bought the asset, that price becomes my entry price. Do you get it? Please hope it's clear. Hope it's clear, right? Okay. So let me see the next question. Uh, okay. So on which condition will liquidation price remain constant after buying a margin call? After buying a margin call. Yes, so now sometimes when we trade or when margin call is bought, the purpose of the margin call is to first help earn from the dip, especially when the market is going against you, and then also second is to help create a new average price. But the reality of the futures trading is that, let me use good. The reality of the futures trading is that the wider you buy an asset, the wider you can create an average price. So sometimes when an average price or margin call is bought, it doesn't instantly create an average price. Do you get it? So when an average price is not created, automatically your liquidation price to remain as it is. It's only bought the asset for you to make the extra profits on the dip or as the market keeps going against you. You get it? So in this case, your margin call will still your liquidation price will still be to remain the same so far as a new average price has not been created. I don't know if you get it. So a new average liquidation price will be created. That is until when an average price has been created. That is all. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so okay, I understand now. If you create your account and you see rewards with an amount, what will you do with that rewards, please, if you want to use it? So now if you create your account and you see rewards with an amount, what will you do with that rewards? So you can withdraw it, right? Mostly those rewards are for let's say team builders. If you see any reward, you are eligible to withdraw such funds, so you can withdraw it. Okay, so if you see any funds, that is the minimum withdrawal amount is 10 USDT on Royal Kio. 10 USDT. So if that reward is up to 10 USDT, you can withdraw. If it's up to 10 USDT, you can withdraw. All right. Please hope it answers your question. Mohammed Geril. Hope it answers your question. If it's up to 10 USDT, you can withdraw. It's simple as that. Okay, so now let me know if there is any other question. Let me know if there is any other question to ask. So someone is asking, Prodaima, can you help me with good trading strategy? Can you help me with good trading strategy for futures? Good trading strategy for futures. Now, when it comes to futures trading, the most important thing when it comes to strategy has to do with your margin calls. Okay, so let's go back to the setup again. Uh, so now let's go to Royal Kio. On Royal Kio, like you're asking of strategy, let's see. So over here, we click on an asset, I click on create, you click on understand, trade settings, then margin manually create, then margin configuration. Now let's look at something. I strongly believe, I strongly believe that if we want a better strategy or any strategy, it's by following the principle that has been created by the bots.
Yeah.
You get it? Now, when you come here, it's possible you can see that why did Royal Kio present this as a default strategy for everyone? You can see that we have this default strategy 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on and so forth. I call this the double up strategy, right? And then we have the tripling effect. So personally, I strongly believe that the tripling effect and then the doubling effect works very well for margin calls. The tripling effect and then the double effect work very effectively on when it comes to margin calls, right? So now, if you want to understand the principle says that after buying every call, just triple it. Okay, so let's assume um my capital is $100. Let's assume my capital is $100. I should learn to expose at most, that is at most 20% or 30% to as my FBA. So let's assume 20% is okay. Okay, 20% as your FBA. Now, it simply means that you're going to use the 80%, you're going to use the 80% as your FBA. So sorry, as your margin calls. So since you're going to use the 80% as your margin calls, what you have to do is that you have to take your time to break this 8% to follow the tripling or the double upward effect. Please, do you get it? So if you want a strategy, there are two sides of it. This is the second part. The second part has to do with your setup, which is this using less amount of your capital, exposing less amount to the market, and then also using the rest to buy what? To buy margin calls. Now, the first strategy would have to do with your entry. Your entry. That one, if you don't know how to analyze, I cannot discuss much about that. It may be form of it may be more technical. You get it? And that is how a lot of traders find themselves wanting. The honest truth, listen, the honest truth is that if you don't have a good entry, no matter the margin calls you open on the futures market, please listen. On the futures market, if you don't get a good entry, no matter the margin calls you open, it may still swallow everything and you may end up getting liquidated. That is the reality of the futures market. So you need to understand that if you are calling for a strategy, either a strategy on how to make an entry and exit, or a strategy on your margin calls. Whereas the margin calls are good, it's going to help you to be able to earn from the dip. The margin call is not going to save you if you have to do what? If you have to be liquidated. This is the truth you need to understand on the futures market. Do you get it? So calling for a strategy. Strategy comes in two forms. Either you are making an entry, strategy on how to make an entry, then also strategy on how to open margin calls. So when it comes to the margin calls, either you use the double effect or the triple effect. That's all. Those are the two strategies that I can recommend for you. Learn to understand the double effect or the triple effects, and these things we've recorded them on the YouTube channel already. So please, all right, my screen again. So, coach, as a beginner, what is the best leverage should I use? What should be the best leverage to use? So between 1 to 5 or more than 5. All right. So as a beginner, 5x is okay. Okay, as a beginner, 5x is okay. For a beginner, 5x is okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me know if there is any other question. Let me know. Let's get back here to see if someone's hand is up. There's some people, they've decided that when they join the meeting, they will never use their call. Once you mute them to, they refuse to be muted. Why? Why? All right. So if you have any question, you can drop your question in the chat box. Who doesn't take profit call back? At times I see zero. What does that mean? At times I see zero. What does that mean? All right. So now, actually, the work of the callback is such that let me use this. So when the price goes up and then gets down based on your callback, maybe 0.1, the asset should be bought, or it should be closed. But if I have 0. Um, if I have my callback to be 0%, it simply means that I don't want back and forth positions to be closed and then extra profit to be made. So I want it such that once the assets rise to trigger my take profit, I want the trade to be closed automatic. So if I'm using zero as a callback, it simply means I don't expect extra profits on my trades. That is all. You see, whenever you use callback, the work of the callback is such that sometimes you see you can set up a trade with a percentage of 1% and it will give you 3%. But if you are using 0% callback, all these things are out. If it is 1%, once the 1% is triggered, automatically you'll be exited out of the market. Please, do you get it? So if you use 0.01, all those callback that you are using, the main work of the callback is to perform a multifunction for you so that you can be able to earn extra profits in case the market goes in your favor with high momentum. You get it? But zero callback simply means that once your take profit is triggered, either there is a higher expectation for you to earn more, you don't like it, you want your trade to be exited automatically. That's all. All right. So let me know. Let me see. So my question borders on team building. I respect, in respect of the new Royal Kio advisor ecosystem. Please, how best could one build our team structure less to earn more, rank faster, and build massive team members with ease and then good structure? Thanks. All right. So I'll answer that, but I would love Leader Doris is here. Leader Doris, kindly, if you are here, be with me now so that you can do justice to this. If you are here, be with me so that you can do justice to that. So why am I asking that? Why am I asking the Doris to do that? So she's a principal advisor. I'm an elite, and I think whilst I have knowledge to do that, she may be more experienced in that. You get it? So Leader Doris, if you can hear me, I'll be very glad if you can help answer this question. So let me see. If she's not around, I'll do that. But I will be very glad if Leader Doris is here to answer that question. All right, so let's proceed. Now, my dear is asking um how how could one build team structure legs to earn more, rank rank faster and then also rank up faster and then also build massive team members with ease and then also good structure. Now, I believe that when it comes to team building, the first thing, looking at our new compensational plan, as I've always been saying, this structure is meant to promote a fairness, right? But how do you build a strong structure? The first thing is one, your ability to train individuals who can be able to trade. You can never neglect this principle and then build a strong structure looking at this current compensational plan. So if you are talking about how you can build a strong structure, the strong structure wouldn't be rooted in just recruiting the people. Do you get it? At the end of the day, by following the new compensational plan, the idea is for you to be able to do what? Recruit people, train them, and let them also be recruiting people. And like we know, first you have to make sure that you have your 7 direct legs, and then the next thing after your 7 direct legs, make sure that you are building a team that was first as an elite, you are building a team that was 75 members. Okay, so how do you build these people? The first thing is make sure that at least you have each of them is fulfilling the 7 7 7. So all these 7 legs that you have, make sure that at least, so let's do that calculation and see. If I have 7 people who are also having 7 each, how much is it going to be? So 7 times 7, let's see. Am I in the meeting? So let's see, 7 times 7, that is 49, right? So if I have, this is, oh, okay, this is me. I have 7 direct legs, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so 7 direct legs. So your responsibility is to make sure that each and every one of them is also having 7 7 7. That is the first principle. So let's look at it. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. All what you need from each member is to make sure that you can train them. If you want to build a rooted team, this is the easiest way to go by. Make sure that each member is getting their direct legs. That is the most important thing. So learn how to train them to get their direct legs. So let's look at it. If this person is having 7, this person is also having 7 7 7, right? So 2 people will be able to generate 14, right? Good. Now, if you have 4 people, so this person is also having 7 7, making what? 20, 14 14, which is 20 what? 28, right? Good. So at least the first 4 people that you have what? 28 28. The next 3 people to, so that is going to give us, let's see, so that is going to give us the 40 what? 49. You get it? So the next thing is make sure that they also keep continue doing the same thing, getting the 7 people. By the time you realize, you yourself first, you've built the team, you are here, and the next person is also targeting how to become an elite because he's also already having what? The 7 people. So it's not about pressuring people to be getting everything, but make sure that at least each and everyone is working on getting 7 people. Their subordinate is also working on getting 7 people each. So it's about following the 7 system principle. So if each member is working on getting 7 people, each member is working on getting 7 people each. By the time you realize, you yourself, you are an elite, they are also what? Elite. Each is upgrading to an elite member. Do you get it? The next thing is that, like I initially said, if you are bringing in the people, the main focus is to ensure that you are building all these 7 people to make sure that they can trade effectively, effective trading. That is for this new compensational plan. If the people cannot trade, these 7 people can never be able to bring in the next 7 people. So I believe this may answer half or part of your question. I believe this may answer part of your question. All right. So please, if there is any question, you can also feel free to if there is any question, you can also feel free to ask. If there's any question, you can feel free to ask, please. All right. So I'm waiting for your question. We've spent an hour here, and I really cherish that. So whilst I wait for your question, I still keep in a moment. If there is no question, then maybe you bring the discussion to an end. So please, I'm waiting for your question. Okay, so I believe there is no question. All questions has been answered clearly. Let me see. All right. Oh, I can see Zillion M. Zillion M, are you a Ghanaian? Zillion M, are you a Ghanaian? Midasi. Zillion M, say Midasi. Zillion M, say Midasi. Zillion M, are you a Ghanaian? All right, so guys, I believe you spent good time here. A Bulgarian. Bulgarian, and you are saying Midasi. Well, I don't know. Maybe Leader Doris will be able to interpret Nigerian. Ah, oh, then I'm not surprised. These are rivals. I'm not surprised. Zillion M is saying Midasi. All right. So, guys, I believe we spent good time here. We spent good time here, and an hour with you means a lot. And it's good time for us to share such an opportunity together. We learn, and then also we continue experiencing knowledge about our trading. If God permit, tomorrow is Saturday, and we shall have our new user orientation, right? We shall have our new user orientation meeting. So let's all get prepared. We shall meet again if God permit tomorrow in the morning or in the evening, whatever be the case. The time will be communicated on the platform for us to get prepared. So I believe you spent good time here. All your questions has been answered, all your doubts has been cleared, and everything is okay. So we shall meet again if God permit tomorrow. We have our various platforms. Always feel free to ask questions on the platform, or if you're also a new member, try your best to ensure that you can get closer to your upline, the person who invited you or the person who activated you, so that you can keep on learning with the person and grow gradually with time. I believe that there is more success in this industry, and provided every individual will make it his personal responsibility to learn every day. The habit is in learning, the result is in learning. Okay, so if you can do yourself a favor and be learning all the time consistently, trust me, you get the result you want. No matter the matter, you get the result. No matter the situation, you get the result. No matter the circumstance, you get the result. It's just a matter of time. Give yourself time and keep growing with time, and I believe that time will surely tell. You deserve the best, and you surely get that good result with time. So don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take it easy, keep growing with time, and be patient, especially when things do not go in your favor. That is trading. For the past 8 years of being here, I've experienced a lot of things, and I can share with you that the best thing that can ever happen to you is to be a trader. And of course, we are still on a journey of learning. So it's on an unending journey where you keep learning all the time. So keep growing, and I believe that surely you surely get your destination. All right, cheers, and let's keep going. I wish you all the best and have a sound sleep. Good night, and love you all. Bye.